guys, it's Mrs. Thornhill. Today with Mr. Thornhill, we are going to make no-bake cookies. So you're going to need a pot for this and a wooden spoon. So we got a nice pot here, and we're going to start adding 3 tablespoons of powdered cocoa. It's unsweetened cocoa, and we're going to pour that in our pan. And then we're going to add 2 cups of white sugar. And then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of milk. So what we did before we started the video, we pre-measured everything in little containers, which is a good thing for you guys to do before you start making stuff at home. And then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of butter. Now the nice thing about butter, if you're not sure what a 1/2 cup is, it will tell you exactly on the package how much butter is in here. So a 1/2 cup of butter is 8 tablespoons. And if you only need a couple tablespoons with the butter, you just cut it. If it says 1 tablespoon or 2, you'll know right there. So the only thing that's going to warm up is the pot. And we're going to put it on the stove now. You're going to turn it on to a medium heat. You're not going to use high. Now remember, if you're going to use the stove, you have to get your parents' permission. You're not allowed to do this without parent supervision or permission. So we're going to melt all the ingredients. So Mr. Thornhill's being safe here. He got himself an oven mitt to hold the pot so he doesn't burn his hands. You definitely don't want to do this recipe on a high, because the last thing you want done is this to burn. As you are cooking this, you are to stir constantly. You don't want it to stick. You don't want it to burn. So that's a very important thing to do. You're just going to stand here and stir away. Build some arm muscles down or up. Build some arm muscles up. All right, so it is going to come to a nice boil here. So when it gets to a boil, you want to boil it for 60 seconds. Stirring the whole time. Now there's other things you can add in this recipe. Instead of creamy peanut butter, you can use crunchy peanut butter. You can add some raisins to it. You can add some nuts. You can add coconut if you like a coconut. You can use your imagination and add stuff that you kind of like around the house. Sunflower seeds. So it's at a nice rolling boil. Now it's really important at this stage that you do not stop stirring. And we are almost at our 60-second point. All right, we are at 60 seconds. You're going to turn off the heat, and you're going to take your pan and move it to a nice cool place. And now in the pot, you're going to add 3 cups of quick cook oatmeal. You're going to keep stirring, and then you're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So when you're using teaspoons and you're measuring, you measure all the way to the top of the teaspoon. There you go. Add that in. Stir it in. The pan is hot, so Mr. Thornhill is using the pot holder still. And then your last ingredient you're going to add is a half a cup of peanut butter. The way the peanut butter is measured, it's in a dry measure and it's flat to the top. And you just use a little rubber scraper and you scrape it out. If you find this recipe too sweet, you can't lower how much sugar you put in. Instead of the 2 cups, you can put in 1.5 cups. Especially if you're going to use a sweetened coconut, it'll make it even sweeter. So you mix the peanut butter in very well, making sure to scrape the sides of the bowl and all the corners, the edges of the pot. Now the next step of this is to let it cool for about 10 minutes so we can shape the cookies. All right, it's been cooling for about 10 minutes, so it's firmed up. So all you do is take a soup spoon, you scoop a 1/2 spoon, and you put it on your sheet pan. You can use a cookie tray lined with wax paper or parchment paper. I have the silicone sheets so it doesn't stick. And then you just refrigerate them for another 30 minutes until they're nice and cool and firm, and enjoy your cookies.